You are listening to the teachings of Krishnamurthy. I realize that when the organism is quiet, completely still, the body is able to gather energy and is capable of functioning more efficiently. When the body has no rest, is driven from morning until night without a pause, it soon wears out, breaks down. But if the body can rest for 10 or 20 minutes during the day, then it has more energy. The mind is very active, watching, observing, criticizing, evaluating, struggling, and all the rest of it. And when it goes to sleep, the same momentum is kept going. So, I am asking myself whether during sleep the mind can be absolutely quiet. Just see the beauty of the question, not the answer it. Unless the body is extraordinarily still, without any movement, without any gestures or nervous, and all the things that one does until it is absolutely quiet and relaxed, it cannot gather energy. Therefore, I want to find out whether the mind can be absolutely quiet during the night when it is asleep. And I say it can be quiet only if every incident, every happening during the day is understood instantly, not carried over. If I carry over a problem from one day to the next, the mind is continuously engaged. But if the mind can solve the problem immediately today, then it is finished. Is it possible for a mind each day to be totally aware that problems no longer exist? By evening, you have a clean slate. If you do this, not just play with it, actually work at it, you will find that when the brain needs rest, it becomes very quiet, completely still. Even 10 minutes rest is enough. And if you pursue this very deeply, you will find that dreams become totally unnecessary because there is nothing to dream about. You are not concerned with your future, whether you are going to be a great doctor, a great scientist, or a brilliant writer, or whether you are going to reach enlightenment the day after tomorrow. You are not concerned with the future at all. I am afraid you don't see the beauty of all this. The mind is no longer projecting anything in time. Now, having stated all that, can the mind, which is really the observer, can the mind observe without division? You understand the question? Can the mind observe without the division between the observer and the observed? Because there is only the observed, not the observer. Let us examine what the observer is. Surely the observer is the past, be it the past of few seconds ago, of yesterday, or of many, many years, living as a conditioned entity in a particular culture. The observer is the total sum of past experiences. The observer is also knowledge. The observer is within the field of time. When he says, I will be, that he has projected that from his past knowledge, whether it is pleasure, pain, suffering, fear, delight, and so on. He says, I must become that. The past therefore is going through the present, which is modified and which he calls the future, but it is really the projection of the past. So, the observer is the past. You live in the past, don't you? Just think of it. You're the past. You live in the past, and that is your life. Past memories, past delights, past remembrance, the thing that gave you pleasure and displeasure, the failures, the disappointment, the lack of fulfillment, the mystery, everything is in the past, and through the eyes of the observer, you judge the present which is living, moving, not a static, dead thing. When I look at myself, I am looking with the eyes of the past, so I condemn, judge, evaluate. This is right, this is wrong, good or bad according to my particular culture and tradition, according to the knowledge and experience which I have gathered. Therefore, it prevents observation of the living thing which is the me, and that me may not be me at all, because I know the me only as the past. When the Muslim says that he is a Muslim, he is the past conditioned by the culture in which he has been brought up. It is the same with the Catholic or the communist. So when we talk about living, we are talking about living in the past, and there is a conflict between the past and the present because I am conditioned. I cannot meet the living present unless I break down my conditioning, and my conditioning is deliberately brought about by my parents, my grandparents, to keep me in the narrow line of their belief, of their tradition, to continue with their mischief and their mystery. We are doing that all the time. We live in the past not only through our conditioning, through the culture in which we had lived, but also through every experience, incident and happening in our life. I see a beautiful sunset and think how marvelous it is with the light, the shadows, the rays of the sun, and it has already been stored up as a memory, and tomorrow I say I must look at the sunset again and see its beauty. Then I struggle to find it, and when I can't, I go to the museum and the whole circus begins. Now, can I look at myself without the eyes of time? Put that question to yourself. Don't say you can or cannot. You don't know. And when you look at yourself without the eyes of time, what or who is there to look? I have looked at myself with the quality, the nature and the structure of the time, the past. I have looked at myself through the eyes of the past. I have no other eyes to look. I have looked at myself as a Catholic or something else, which is the past, so my eyes are incapable of looking at what is without the time which is past. When you say impossible, how do you know it is impossible? The moment you say it is not possible, then you have blocked yourself. And if you say it is possible, it is also blocking you. But if you say let's find out, let's examine, let's go into it, then you will discover that the mind can observe without the eyes of time. And when it is so observes, then what is there to be observed? If one has discovered all this, not as a theory, not as a verbal statement, but one has seen this actual fact within oneself, that the mind can observe totally without the eyes of the past, then the mind will be completely new and completely different.